Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Today is a time of reflection and appreciation. I'm Valerie, and today on Business by Design, this special episode is all about harnessing the power of gratitude to fuel your personal and professional growth. Join me.
Hello, I'm Valerie Priester, and this is the Business by Design podcast. Are you a woman entrepreneur who absolutely loves what you do and enjoy helping others, but for some reason, you can't seem to get out of your own way? You can't seem to get out of your head and really create the level of success that you desire? I get it. I truly understand. I've been there too. You see, I spent years searching for what do they call it? The holy grail, the secret sauce, right? To success. And what I learned along the way is all of the women that I knew that were very successful had one thing in common, and that was their way of thinking. Now, I know you may be saying it can't be that simple, can't be that easy, right? But the truth is, the number one key or secret, however you want to label it, to success is your way of thinking. It's your mindset. It's what you believe and what you think is possible for you. And so that's exactly why I created this podcast. I want to help you get out of your head, get out of your own way. I want to help you get into more profits, more passion, and more power. I want to help you to shift away from old beliefs and release old ways of thinking, self sabotaging conversations, and help you shift into new beliefs that support your goals and bring lasting success. I want to help you design your victory so you can create the business and life that you desire. So if you're ready for some real talk about how to do that, if you're ready to really make the shift and move into greater possibilities and greater success, you're in the right place.
First, let me start by saying I am thankful for each and every one of you who listen to my podcast and share it out. I really do appreciate you for doing that. So, thank you from the bottom of my heart as we celebrate today's Thanksgiving in the US. I want to really explore how embracing a mindset of thankfulness can transform your perspective. It can boost your confidence and propel you forward in your entrepreneur journey, right? So, grab a warm beverage, if you will, depending on what time you're watching this, and settle in. And let's dive into gratitude and growth. Okay. So, the significance of Thanksgiving is the fact that this is more than just a holiday filled with, delicious food and family gatherings. At its core, it's a celebration of gratitude. It's a time to acknowledge the blessings and the abundance that's in our lives, right? I'm often amazed, and most people will think this is silly, but I'm often amazed when I, go to my freezer and I pull out another pack of what is it, the 4 sticks of butter, right? I've told this story before on some of my other social media platforms, but there was a time as a single mother, it was difficult for me to really provide, a variety or a abundance of food for me and my daughter. And I remember back in the day, and this is really going to age me, but back in the day, like you could buy a half a stick of butter, right? And I would have to often buy a half a stick of butter because that's as far as my money would stretch, right? But today, when I look in my freezer and there is an abundance of butter, again, this may be small, but this is how gratitude hits me, like in all different ways. But the butter thing, it sticks with me. And every single time I pull out a new 4 pack of butter, it reminds me to be grateful, right? So, as entrepreneurs, especially as successful women entrepreneurs, we are often, juggling so many responsibilities. And it's easy for us in the midst of all of that to get caught up in the hustle and the bustle and overlook all of the positives, overlook the things that we have to be grateful for. One of the things that, also surprises me is like I typically like to start my coaching sessions, especially if I'm doing a group coaching session. And if someone is, talking or coming up to the mic, I always want to ask, like, what is a positive that you have, right? Because I believe, again, that creates a positive environment, and it reminds us to stay focused on the positive and the things that we have to be grateful for. So I always ask, like, what is a positive that you have? And it surprises me sometimes that it takes some women a moment to find a positive. Man, positives are all around us, right? Even in the butter. Let me just say, even in the butter, there's something to be positive about. But it's because we get caught up in this hustle and grind mentality that we overlook the things that we truly have to be grateful for, right? And usually what happens there too is that we're so focused on the next goal, the next milestone, the next launch, the next product, right? Whatever's coming up next. And sometimes we forget to appreciate how far we've come in this moment. But if we could use this season today of Thanksgiving as a catalyst for growth, right? What if embracing gratitude could help us overcome self doubt? What if it could alleviate overthinking, right? What if it could bring clarity to our vision? So that's why in this episode, I want to explore exactly that. Like, how do we use gratitude as a way to grow? Okay. So there's power in gratitude. And the power of gratitude in mindset transformation is so very important. So let's begin by first understanding how gratitude impacts our mindset, right? First thing I want to say is it can shift our focus from lack to abundance. I'm going to go back to the butter story. Every time I take the butter out of the freezer, if I'm thinking in a way that promotes lack, or the thoughts of lack, then taking the butter out of the freezer reinforces the abundance, and it shifts my focus away from lack to abundance, right? When we practice gratitude, we shift our attention from what's missing to what we already have. And this abundance mindset can reduce the feelings of inadequacy or self doubt. Okay. The second thing is it enhances our emotional well being, right? Gratitude has been linked to increased happiness and reduced stress. And for entrepreneurs, this means that we are able to make better decisions, right? We're able to have more resilience in the face of challenges when we make the connection with gratitude to our emotional well being. And then the other thing is it builds confidence. So, acknowledging your accomplishments, which I highly recommend that you do on a regular basis, fosters self confidence. It reminds you of your capabilities and the success that you've achieved through your hard work, right? So, really acknowledging your accomplishments on a regular basis, I say every quarter, will help to build your confidence. Again, showing you what you have to be grateful for. And then it encourages a growth mindset, right? Gratitude helps you to appreciate not just the outcomes, but the journey. And that journey includes the lessons learned and the setbacks. All of that, right? This perspective, it's essential to continuous growth in your business and in your entrepreneur journey. I know that we again focus so much on the outcomes, right? The things that happen on this journey. But I want us to take more time to focus on the journey itself and be grateful for the lessons. Be grateful for the setbacks because every setback has a lesson that will teach you how to improve, how to um, build more resilience, right, as you continue on this journey. Now, when we practice gratitude, right? There's practical ways that we can do that. And now that we've kind of, looked at establishing the benefits of gratitude and how it can really help you in continuing to grow your business, let's talk about how to really incorporate gratitude into your daily routine, right? As you're building these businesses, running these businesses, again, we often forget that there's so much that we have to be grateful for. So how do we integrate gratitude into our daily routines? Well, journaling is a great way, right? Gratitude journaling is a great way to do that. And that's like having some time to sit and have morning reflection. Like part of my morning routine includes journaling, it includes meditation, it includes prayer, right? But having that time in the morning to have some reflection and start your day by writing, what you're grateful for. You can pick like three things that you're grateful for. This can really help um, to set the tone for your day. But when we write out three things that we're grateful for, that can be anything. It can be personal, it can be professional, it can be big, it can be small. It doesn't matter. But the fact that you take the time to just write it out and then reflect on it, right? And then you can incorporate an evening ritual as well, where in the evening you are reflecting on what are the things that I've accomplished today? What are the successes that I've had today? Right? This reinforces positive experiences and it ends the day on a high note, just like you started, right? So, another way to incorporate gratitude is gratitude letters and emails. When was the last time you actually wrote a handwritten letter to someone? Right? Well, now we have email, so we can do it via email, but you can write a gratitude letter or email to someone, right? Expressing your appreciation to others. This is like one of the most, I think, heartfelt ways of really showing how much you appreciate someone else. And it uplifts their life as well as keeps you in a mindset of gratitude, right? And this not only strengthens the relationships, but it also amplifies your own feelings of gratitude. Okay? Another thing is to be have mindful moments, right? So throughout the day, pause. Just pause. Take short breaks and breathe deeply and appreciate the present moment, right? This helps to reduce stress and it can certainly bring clarity, right? And then celebrate your milestones. I'm never going to stop telling you to celebrate yourself, celebrate your milestones, acknowledge your accomplishments. That's so very important, right? And again, whether it's launching a product, getting a new client, or overcoming a personal hurdle, take the time to celebrate, okay? And then use gratitude affirmations. I'm real big on affirmations, right? These are positive statements. So you want to use affirmations like I'm grateful for a unique talent that I have, right? Or my unique talents or abilities. I appreciate the opportunities that come my way, right? Repeat them daily. This helps to reinforce a positive mindset. Okay. Now, there are so many barriers to practicing gratitude. Let's just kind of go through a couple of those, some common barriers, right? It can be busy schedules, right? We're so busy, we forget to practice gratitude. Okay. Now, how do we avoid that? We integrate gratitude practices into our existing routines. For example, reflect on what you're thankful for while you're, I don't know, drinking your morning coffee, or if you have a commute driving to your office, right? Reflect on what you're grateful for then. Perfectionism is another hindrance to practicing gratitude, right? Remember that gratitude isn't about having everything figured out, it's about appreciating progress, not just perfection, okay? Overthinking can keep us from practicing gratitude. So if you find yourself dwelling on negatives, right, consciously redirect your thoughts to positive affirmations. And what will happen over time as you keep doing this, this becomes easier and more natural. Like you'll know when you need to shift your thinking. Okay. Another one is feeling underdeserved. right? Feeling like you're not worthy of the things that are happening. So here you want to recognize that everyone is worthy of appreciation and kindness, including you, right? So self gratitude is a powerful step towards self confidence. So I suggest write yourself a love letter telling yourself, telling you what you appreciate most about yourself. Okay. Now, here's a story, for how I deal with clients with the whole gratitude thing, right? When I'm working with some of my clients, and again, these are successful entrepreneurs, there are times when they feel stuck, no matter the accomplishments or the achievements that they've had. And when this happens, they become overwhelmed. Um, and they're overwhelmed by self-doubt, and they constantly compare themselves to others. That's like a huge no-no, but we all kind of, have I know I've dealt with that before, but we all kind of experience that from time to time. So during our coaching, I introduced to them a daily routine, which I practice myself, of gratitude, right? And at first, of course, they may struggle to find the things that they're thankful for, right? But gradually they begin to notice the positives. So what happens is they acknowledge things like supportive teams, loyal customers, right? Or even their own strengths. And by doing this, this shifts them from really in this negative space, right, into the more positive and grateful space. And again, this doesn't happen overnight, right? But as they continue to embrace gratitude, their perspective changes. And the results, they become more confident, they make clearer decisions, they reignite their passion for their business, right? Gratitude can do all of that for you. And gratitude, again, is the key to unlocking your ability to move forward. Okay. So, action steps for you to take away so that you can embrace gratitude on this day. As we celebrate Thanksgiving today, what I want you to do is really embark on your own gratitude journey. Okay. So, number one, start a gratitude journal. Start the journey, but also start a journal. So today, I want you to begin to write down three things that you're grateful for and continue to practice this every day. Step number two, I want you to express gratitude to someone else. Reach out to a mentor, a colleague, a friend, family member. Let them know how they've impacted your life or your business. And then number three, reflect on your accomplishments, right? List your accomplishments over the past, let's say, quarter, and celebrate how far you've come. Okay. And then number four, incorporate gratitude into your business. Consider all the ways to show appreciation to your team, to your clients, right? This could be sending a thank you note. This could be shout outs on social media. This could be small tokens of appreciation, right? Think of ways that you can show your appreciation. And when you are embracing these steps, you can really enhance your mindset, strengthen your relationships, and begin to pave the way for continued growth. Okay. Gratitude is a powerful tool, and it can transform your entrepreneur journey if you practice it with intention and daily, right? It can shift your focus, it can boost your confidence, and it can open doors to new opportunities. It all starts with gratitude. So, this Thanksgiving, allow yourself to pause and appreciate the abundance in your life. Let gratitude be the fuel that propels you forward towards your goals with renewed energy and clarity. So, here's to wishing you a joyful Thanksgiving filled with reflection, appreciation, and growth. Remember, designing your victory is a choice, and it starts with gratitude. Until next time, keep awakening and growing.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Business by Design podcast. If you love what you're hearing each week, let me know by leaving a rating and a review. And don't forget to follow the show so you don't miss out on proven mindset techniques, strategies, and tools to help you design your victory and create the business and life you desire. Also, if you're ready to talk about the business and life that you really want, head on over to valeriepriester.com and schedule your private business breakthrough clarity call. Until next week, remember, designing your victory is a choice. Start today.